What is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. So as a lot of you might know, we've been spending a lot of time on our super cheap turbo Civic build, but today we're going to take a break from that and focus back on our procharged LS GTO. So as a lot of you might have seen in the past, we've done a ton of videos with this car, including building the fuel system. Some of the latest videos that we have done, we added a secondary fuel pump to kick on with a Hobb switch so that we could get this car ready for E85. So that's what we're going to focus on today. It is finally time to put some E85 in the tank. And as you can see, it is still sitting on the wheels that we stored this car for the winter on, as well as use these wheels for the dyno. But if we're going to be street tuning this thing, we definitely need a little bit more traction than these wheels have to offer. So we're going to break out our set of 15-inch rears for this thing. So let's get it rolled off the dyno, get through the intro, and get these wheels on. Now that we've gotten through the intro and backed the car off the lift, I did decide to move it over here to the shade because it is definitely warm in the sun today. But we've got our wheels rolled out here, and if you guys have been following along, you've seen them before, but we run a 275/60/15 Mickey Thompson ET Street R Pro. So that's what's going to be going on the back. We usually run these ones on the front so that the rims match, but I think we're going to leave those chrome skinnies up front for now. This should get the job done. These have a lot more traction than those. So let's go ahead, get those pulled off, get these on, and then we can start worrying about getting this thing switched over to E85. As you guys can see, we got the driver's side done. There's just a little comparison for you between the ones that were on it, the ones that we're putting on it. Those ones usually go up front, like I mentioned before. But for now, we're just gonna go ahead and leave those skinnies up front. It'll be fine for what we're doing. So let's go ahead and get this one swapped out, and we should be about ready to start putting this thing on E85. Alright guys, so we've got this thing ready to go, but before we throw E85 in it, our tuner, Ed G Tuned, wants us to take it out with his base file on 93 and just make sure all of the new parts that we have added are working as they should be, like the flex sensor, the new pump, and the Hobb switch. So we're going to throw his file in it, fire this thing up, and go take it for a ride. So we just got done writing his file. I'm going to go ahead, cycle the key, and get our log started for him. And then we will fire this thing up, let it warm up, and take it for a ride. So I did forget to mention, even though we're going E85 with our flex fuel setup, we are going to continue to run our triple nozzle water methanol injection system. As you guys can see, we've got two nozzles right there before the intake manifold, and then one nozzle before the blower in that inlet tube. We also have the tank for this system mounted back here in the trunk along with the pump, and it came out really good. So if you guys want to see how we build that system and how we did our entire fuel system, including our DIY twin Walbro pumps hung in the stock tank, you can go back on the GTO playlist and check all of that stuff out. We have a step-by-step start to finish on how we did both systems. So let's get this thing fired up, take it out, and get a log we can send off to the tuner. Alright, let's let this thing warm up for a few. Alright, let's go take this thing for a little ride. Putz around a little bit and see what happens. touched rev limiter a little bit because I was so focused on the AFR gauge. Everything seemed good until I hit the rev limiter. My fault, but the meth was spraying, the AFR looked good, so everything looked good from there. Now we can head back, send him this file. He can take a look at it and decide if we're ready to throw some E85 in it. As you guys seen, we took this thing out and did a pull on 93 just to make sure that the sensor and everything was working, which it was, and everything looked good. So he sent us another tune file that we're gonna put in this thing, and we're finally ready to throw some E85 in it. So I picked up 10 gallons the other day at our local E85 pump. Hopefully that'll get us to the content that we need, and we should be good to go. So let's throw some fuel in this thing and take it for another log. I interrupt today's video to tell you guys about a video that we did a little while back with Auxito LED. They are a great quality bulb, and they have a plug and play bulb for many applications. I have been extremely happy with mine, and as you guys can see, compared to your standard halogen bulb, they are extremely bright, and we have worked with them to get you guys a code that you can enter at checkout to save 10%, bought to build, all capitals, no spaces, and I will also put a link to their website in the description of today's video. Let's get back to today's video. So we put some E85 in this thing. We've got our laptop open. We're gonna fire this thing up and get another cold start and idle log for him, and then we'll decide if we're ready to go take it for a ride. So we've had it running for a few minutes here, and the alcohol percent is starting to come up. We're up to 33%. So we're gonna let this thing keep running for a few minutes and see if we need to add more E85 or if we're good to go run it. Stop hitting the fucking rev limiter though. I hit the rev limiter going from second to third.
Yeah, I see
I was so busy looking at the AFR gauge that I wasn't even paying attention.
Yeah.
As you guys seen, we went out and did another log. The ethanol ended up right around 43%. Sorry about the crappy camera angle. We were in a rush. I got this thing all cleaned up and got the front tires through on it so we could head over to the annual car show over at Larry's Auto Machine. If you guys stay around for the end of the video, I'll throw some clips in of people doing burnouts and stuff when we were leaving the show. We had a great time over there, just like we do every year. But like I was saying, the car ended up right around 43% ethanol, which is a little bit lower than we'd like. So we cruised this thing around a bit, ran the fuel out of it, and the gas light's just about to kick on. So last night I went and picked up a couple gallons of E85. So today we're gonna throw 5 more gallons of E85 in it. We've got a tuner vision we can flash to it and see where the percentage ends up. If we have to, we can run over to the pump and get some more. But around here, there's not really any good options for E85. We have one local pump and you're kind of just stuck with what you get. So that's what the plan is. Let's get some E85 thrown in this thing and we'll go take it for a ride. Go ahead and get the new file opened up here. Looks like he bumped the rev limiter up a little bit because I was having issues hitting it. So we've got that opened up. Let's go ahead and write it. Right calibration. All right, we're good to go. Go ahead and get this closed up. See if highlighting it helps you guys. 57% ethanol right now. So I'm gonna let it idle, get up to temperature for a few minutes, and we'll see if that percentage comes up some more. We let this thing idle up to temp and it is good to go. We are still only at 60.9, so 61% ethanol. So we're gonna take this thing over to our only E85 pump and put a few more gallons in it and see if we can't get it up a little higher before we log it. So let's go ahead and head over to our local Shell. Thankfully, the E85 pump isn't very far from us, but the content level just kind of sucks. So it is what it is though. We're gonna head over there, grab a few more gallons, then we will go do another log. Got to use that fuel rewards. Looks like E85 here is 328 right now. It's funny, I don't know who you could talk to, but the percent says 70% ethanol minimum, and it definitely tests lower than that. Put like 6 gallons in it. I think the starter's on the way out. She doesn't like restarting when she's hot, but we'll see if she will today. Nope. I don't know why it doesn't want a hot start lately. Something weird going on with it. Luckily we brought the jump box. Starts fine with the jump box. I don't know if it's a battery issue or what. Very strange, because it cold starts fine even when it sits. It just doesn't like to hot start. Anyways, I'm gonna let it sit and idle for a second, see if the ethanol percent will catch up here, and then we will go do a log. So the percentage only came up a very, very small amount, so don't think it's gonna do much better than that at this pump anyways. So let's go ahead and take it out for a ride. Got a nice cutout kit for this thing sitting at home. I've just got to pick some mufflers so we can throw them on here and get this thing a little quieter for driving around town and stuff. This thing is definitely way faster on ethanol. Like night and day difference how much faster it is. I wanted to stay in it, but when I started making that turn, I felt the whole car starting to rock, so I had to let out because I don't trust these slicks going around the corner like that. But definitely way faster with the E85. This thing is flying for what it is. I honestly am not a stick shift guy. I'm gonna roll my windows up so you guys can hear me, but I am not a stick shift guy. It's just not really my thing. So I'd really like to get the T56 out of this car and get a built 4L80E for it with a nice torque converter and a trans brake, and go that route with it. Keep it IRS, at least for the foreseeable future. I just don't want to put a solid axle in this car. Me and my dad built it together, and I kind of want to keep it a nice streetable but also trackable car. So I'd like to get the automatic in it because we've got a McLeod RXT 1200 clutch, and the clutch grabs great. We've had no issues on the dyno or the street or anything like that with it, but I don't like how it drives. Now, the clutch was done and set up before I started doing all my own stuff. I actually paid someone to do the clutch on this car, and I'm not sure if it's just not set up 100% properly, or if the clutch just is what it is and it's more racy than it is street, which is totally possible. I personally just don't really like how it drives on the street with the clutch that's in it. and I don't really want to get another clutch. I hate the way the shifter feels, and the transmission I think is just a little on the tired side. So all in all, I think I'd just be much better off going the route I would prefer to go, which is a built 4L80E. So make sure to stay tuned, subscribe, all that good stuff, so that you guys get notified if we do decide to make the switch. And if we do, I will have a whole bunch of manual parts for a GTO for sale. I'll have the drive shaft shop aluminum drive shaft, as well as the transmission, the almost new RXD 1200 clutch and aluminum flywheel, all that stuff. So, but with that being said, this thing is running great, so let's go ahead and head back to the house. As you guys seen, we just got back from doing another log, and this thing is absolutely flying. I couldn't be happier with it. It is responding extremely well to the ethanol. Now, sadly, the pumps around here kind of suck as far as percentage is concerned, but it is what it is, and we're kind of just stuck with what we've got. Now, luckily, we are still running the water methanol injection system on this thing, so we should be plenty safe whether we're running 93, E85, or a combination of the two. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure to stick around and subscribe, because we will be getting this thing back on the dyno here very soon to see how much power we gained going from pump 93 to pump E85. So as always, I appreciate you guys for checking out the channel. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell, and check us out on all of our other social media platforms: Facebook, TikTok, and Bought to Build Official on Instagram. And we will catch you on the next one. Still has a little Mustang left in it.